Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right, we are live. We haven't done a live progress report for a while. This one has been a long time coming, Gleneva. Are you ready for this one?
It has been. I am so ready. I am ready to get out of this sun,
Oh
Ivan.
yeah, it's a bright sunny morning here in Anguilla, and we are at the campus site of the new Albina Lake Hodge Comprehensive School. And we are here meeting the Minister of Education, and we will be taking a quick tour and talking about the new campus. We're going to touch on the $10 million that government has commissioned, and we'll be going to the House this Friday, I believe, to complete package 2, which is in the background. We'll see what's going on. We meet a lot of people that are asking us what's really going on with the new campus, what's really going on with education. The Minister of Education is here. She's on the ball. I see Special Assistant in the Ministry of Finance, Mr. Courtney Martin, in the back too. They're going to give us the insight today. Ready for that?
Ready.
Ready? So let's go. And we have Titanium in Anguilla, Gilbert A. Fleming, a.k.a. Gaff, behind the camera. He's our man that we call for these lives. So he'll just make sure that we have everything captured today. Correct, Gaff? All right. We're moving into the school, and we're going to meet the minister now. Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning, Progress Reports.
Hi, thanks for having us.
No problem.
Okay, so we're going to jump straight into this. We're going to walk the property a bit. We're going to see some things that's going on. But I want to, before we get too far into things, just ask you a few quick questions here under the shade before we get to walking, because I've walked this property before. It's quite an exercise. It's a very huge property. Campus, it's not a property. A very huge campus. We have some completing to be done on the packages. Speaking with Mr. Morton yesterday, we talked about the fact that, well, his daughter had 1 year of regular school.
Yeah.
Then she's been on a shift system.
Correct.
My son is now in Todd Farm, your daughter's in Todd Farm,
Yeah.
and all they've known is shift system.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much more shifting we could take before the gearbox mash up. It's just been a whole lot of shifting.
It's funny that you mentioned that, Ivan, because when I said to her that I was coming here today, her first question was, can you please find out if we are going to have to still be on a shift system come September?
So that's a good question.
So burning question.
So we can start there. Obviously, the initiative and the impetus for us going to the House for the supplementary budget come Friday is for us to be able to get the additional funds to continue works to complete this package before September. So it's really, really important, and we're depending on all members of Parliament to support this initiative, because the reason why we need additional monies is going to be made very clear as we walk through the property. But also when we consider all that has been done on the property, we've had 2 other packages already completed and turned over to the ministry last year. However, we had 1 package outstanding and a number of issues that came forth from this particular package, which we are standing in front of. This is supposed to be the entrance to the school. So just to answer your question, very briefly, it is of paramount importance to everybody in this administration to get this block completed so that we can move into this school this year.
Right.
So when you hear a lot of the conversations around it, this is really the reason why we're pushing so hard, because we do not want students to have another year in a split shift system. Yes.
Totally understand. So this is the package that's incomplete.
This is the incomplete package, yes.
If Gav could just pan, we'll see. I mean, you would have seen it. Obviously, a lot of work to do here. A lot of work to do on the inside. I still see 1 or 2 persons walking around. We have our friends from Sheriff Security who are here 24/7.
Yeah, so we've had to also bring on security because, as has become very, I don't know, customary in Anguilla, when you have projects that are sitting down and materials on site, persons can come and they can rob these materials. And that has a very fundamental cost to the government and the people of Anguilla, because I keep saying these things don't just cost the government. The government isn't this separate entity from the people. This costs the people of Anguilla. So if you have blocks, if you have doors, if you have windows on site and these aren't secured, then what happens if somebody comes and picks them up? That means that we now have to find additional monies to be able to provide a fit for purpose and completed school for students to sit in.
And we've already had to find money to finish.
And we've already had to find money to finish, so we also had to find money to employ security services because we knew that it was necessary.
Put a pin right there.
Yes.
You're telling me how long we supposed to move in this school now? When was this supposed to be finished?
Initially, the original end date was May 2021, but of course COVID came, shutdowns, outbreaks, and that date got pushed into 2022.
Okay.
And from that 2022 date, when we had practical completion from two of our packages, one of our packages was not practically complete.
Okay.
And then we had to go through this transition period of employing security. So that's from 2022 until now.
All right, I got no problem with folks being employed, but I mean, who's paying for that? Government
The
of
government
Anguilla?
of Anguilla, of course.
And where's the money coming from, Minister?
Goods and services.
Goods and
tax.
services tax,
Yeah, of
GST,
course.
growing sustainably together.
Growing sustainably
So
together.
this is my little plug because this is Glen Eva's show. I don't know if I just tell her so, but this is Glen Eva's show. This has nothing to do with me. I'm just the guy that is a little bit of balance, you know.
The comedian.
Yeah, something like that.
Gotcha.
So you're telling me, Minister, that growing sustainably together actually have some meaning?
It does, and the meaning behind it is we as a nation really need to be able to make sacrifices to prioritize what we think is important.
Right.
If we believe education is important and it's not just words, because a lot of time we say things like, oh, education is important. What does that mean effectively?
Right.
Does it mean that you want to ensure that students have effective contact time with teachers, which means not 3 hours of school each day? We want them to have as much hours of school contact time with teachers as other Caribbean nations and global nations have with teachers. Do we want them to be able to effectively be able to entertain and engage with technology, because this school is also going to be fitted with Promethean boards and technology? Do we want that for our students? What is the price that is going to take? Are we willing to pay that price, or are we going to say we want somebody else to pay for it for us? So those are the questions we have to ask, and you really only know a priority by what you're willing to do in order to achieve it.
Okay, be careful now, be careful now. That's some strong words. So,
Those are, yes.
so we introduced GST,
Yes.
growing sustainably together. We did not have to go, Premiers use this term, hat in hand.
Yes.
To
Hat in hand.
hat in hand.
Literally.
We did not have to go hat in hand, literally, to get the money to complete this school. We
Yes.
made a decision. We're doing a supplementary
Yes.
to get upwards, not of 8 million for sure.
Correct.
I know the exact number, and although we have a representative here from the Ministry of Finance, I ain't quoting the figures.
Yes.
Not of $8 million to
Yes.
complete the school. So let's see what we're gonna do. What we're gonna complete.
All right, so let's, if you guys would like to follow me, we'll have security with us because the site is still being secured.
Okay.
So this is package 2. This is the second package. Right above us, we have the administrative block. This is the block where our teachers, administrative processes are going to be found. So, once you come straight into the school, buses will be able to pass through that thorough way and come in, and you'll be able to go straight and report to, teachers' desks, etc. They have workrooms and workspaces for teachers specifically, but along this space, we have classrooms and we have some specialist rooms. This block actually has a lot of specialist rooms for music, special education needs, etc. in this block. And then we'll take you around to other spots. So this is actually a critical component of the package.
So why wasn't this completed before everything else?
Why wasn't it completed?
But you're saying all the critical stuff isn't here.
Well, yes, but construction takes place in phases. You still have to, there's a Gantt chart that kind of plots out how development is done. No.
I actually know what's a Gantt chart.
You do know what a Gantt chart? That's awesome. I know all of these technical and construction words now because I've had to become very familiar with this block.
So what we're looking at, Minister,
Yes.
I'm seeing a very long block here, and then it's sort of connected by this walkway.
Yeah.
this first block that we are on, you say there are some specialist classrooms.
Yes.
It is how many stories up?
This is 3 stories.
3 stories
Yeah.
up. So we can expect that there'll be classrooms, specialist classrooms. And just as we enter, I noticed some rooms off to the sides, just so we can
utilities rooms, security rooms, etc. right off, so to ensure that we have spaces for security services, etc. Yeah. So we have a quite a wide variety of rooms. Usually, so this, what you can tell is the flooring and a lot of things aren't complete. So because most of the school, what we've done is we've epoxied the floors. So it's like a surface that you use throughout the blocks. And when you go to the other blocks, you'll see that there's epoxy laid on the floor instead of tiles. So we don't have a tiled school, which is something very common in Caribbean schools. I've seen it in BVI. BVI just came off of their shift system this January because they just completed their high school block for their students, and they also have epoxied floors.
Is there a reason why they've decided and you've decided to move towards epoxy floors as opposed to tile? Is there a benefit to that?
Yeah, it's more sustainable, less likely for breakages, etc., and very easy to maintain and repair for students, and also it's easier to travel along.
Is it also safer?
It is safe, yeah.
Okay.
So we'll take this stairwell, yeah?
Okay.
Right.
So you follow us down.
So this is a cistern cover,
Yeah.
concrete.
Yep.
Okay. Immediately, right? I've been here a couple times, but I have an immediate concern, and I don't know. When you get up to the top, you'll see if Gaff can come. As we go higher, we have 3 floors, right?
On that, so
On that
there's
side.
on that side, and then
On that side.
yeah, on this, so you can see the floors. Well, obviously the terms for floors is different.
Yes.
Based on where you are. We have 3 floors, what we consider 3 floors in Anguilla. This is floor 1, 2, and 3. You can see the stratification of the levels here.
So floor 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
I have a concern. That's the extent of the protective barrier. Here's why I have a concern.
Well, you know what? This is the typical extent of the protective barrier. We can look to see whether or not we want to increase them, but these are the measurements that we've gotten in terms of safety protocols and procedures. So that's what we used.
Okay.
That's
I've
what we
always
use.
been concerned. I saw a video one time of a little bit of a squabble at a school not here, and they were upstairs, and one of the concerns was
You know,
falling over.
as parents of teenagers, Ivan, I think we tend to view these things through the eyes of parents of children who we know their brains aren't fully developed.
That is true.
Yeah.
And I think in dealing with teenagers, we
That's
tend
true.
to be a bit more cognizant of the fact that,
They don't think
yes,
all the time.
you know, it's by nature, their brains aren't completely developed at this stage, and so they engage in behaviors that tend to be a bit more risky.
Yeah.
So I do see your concern.
And yeah, I will just, if not for this floor, for the others, because when you get up there, I remember I was with PS the other day when we came by. It's just like, okay, let me walk away.
Oh, she was walking away?
Walking away from
Okay,
the
got
side.
you.
So it's just a little concern.
But I'll take you into the classrooms in this block so you can see that there's still a lot of work to be
There
finished.
is a lot
If you see
of work.
the ceiling work here, there's still a lot. We have things dropping down from the ceiling. These are our AC. These are some AC units and vents.
Pause!
Yeah.
Pause! According to Sizzler.
Yeah.
Pause! The classrooms are AC.
No, most of them are not.
Most of them are not
Our
AC.
specialist classrooms are air conditioned.
Specialist
The
classrooms.
special classrooms are, but most of them are not.
Okay.
And part of it is in the design of the buildings. There's supposed to be in the aerodynamic design of the buildings,
Okay.
with windows facing eastward.
Okay.
Most of our windows facing eastward, supposed to allow
Air
that
to come.
flow of air to go straight through the campus.
Okay. The average size of the classrooms.
I can't give you the dimensions out of my head, but most of the classrooms are supposed to be able to fit 30 students approximately 30 students. But we also have room or space for growth.
Room or space for growth?
For growth, yes.
Explain.
So if we have larger classrooms, the part of the business case for the school was to create a school with the capacity to bring in more students.
So that means this is in line with growing the population.
Growing a population, etc.
Aha.
Yes.
So Minister Kenneth Hodge in the Ministry of Home Affairs, we're talking about population growth. We want to bring in families.
Yes.
And
Families.
we want them to come to our high school, our big spanking brand new high school.
We're gonna look at that in a growing sustainably together way. Because I think that should.
Do you see that's going into the room?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So
our specialist rooms will have AC.
Specialist rooms have AC.
Yeah. So let's go over into this other block because this is kind of symptomatic of most of the classes on this side and on this block. And you'll see they all have the same basic layout. Some rooms are larger than the others. So where I'm taking you right now is over to the IT and specialist unit over here.
Okay.
And we'll be able to oversee the cafeteria on the other side.
That's the cafeteria.
Yes. So this block here, this is a completed block.
Okay, so this is
package 1.
So it has wheelchair access.
It has wheelchair access.
And there are elevator ducts.
I was about to ask because I see wheelchair
We do
access.
have elevator ducts. Yes.
And I see stairs. So
Yes.
there's some
Yeah, we have disability access on the campus. So these schools, most of them might be locked for security reasons, of course. Okay. So you might have to just peek into the classrooms.
The desk are in there.
Yeah, these classrooms are outfitted. This is a completed block. Of course, it needs some cleaning up because it's been sitting down for a little bit a period of time.
So these are the epoxied floors that we spoke about.
Yeah, these are epoxy floored. But these are this is our IT block, technical drawing, engineering, etc. Well, not engineering as a subject, but subjects that kind of lean into engineering.
So these would be the industrial arts, the mechanics.
Not mechanics. That is supposed to be part of our technical. Or we'll get into that when we go over on the next side. We'll get into that when we go over on the next side. But all of these classrooms are effectively just all complete and just waiting for occupation. Our doors, all of the doors have been ordered in bulk. They came down, well fitted. I mean, the school is, if we had it actually up and operational, I mean, we're still not going to have to bring in people for cleaning services, etc., before the school is officially opened. Yes, and this over here is the cafeteria. The only challenge that we had, and that I think in hindsight, is when the plan was developed for this school, this should have really been developed as a multi-purpose center, but it was not. The ceiling is too low, and so you're really limited in terms of what you can do in that space. If the ceiling was lifted, they would have been able to play volleyball, netball, basketball indoors in this space, but unfortunately, it's only outfitted specifically for the purpose of a cafeteria. And that means that we now have to look for other alternatives to really house those sports close to the school, because as you are aware, we are now removed from most of the essential services in the valley by putting the school here in this particular location. So we no longer have a physical education access to physical education, which is a major concern for us, because as we start to push physical education and sports development in Anguilla, we really want our students to be connected to that. So that's a major challenge that we now have to find funding for. We're looking for certain partners, and we have engaged one, but we need a couple more in order to create a balance. Also, we don't have a library service here at the school, which we would have had if the school had remained at its location. We also don't have medical and health facilities close by the school, but those are all things that we now have to consider in our operational plan for the school.
So I do have a question just in some of the things that you've just mentioned. Looking around, I see some vast land space,
Yes.
Unoccupied land space. If we are to grow and to be able to incorporate some of those facilities that are missing, does the land surrounding here belong to the government, or will the government of Anguilla have to acquire the lands to be able to
do more?
to locate, yes, to be able to physically have those facilities present on this site?
Well, this land here to the left is government land. Some going back to a certain point, there is some land there that actually doesn't belong. As you go further westward, some of that land actually belongs to private persons. But as you can see from this particular point, there's a lot of exposed rock. This surface over here is rock. In order to flatten or do anything with this land, you have to excavate. Excavation is expensive. We did look at the potential cost of flattening this particular piece of land, and that was specifically for a track and field facility to come right next to the school. The excavation costs alone are $7.5 million. So $7.5 million just for excavation alone.
You didn't lose me at all. Seven. Let's go this way.
Let's go this way. You can follow us down. Yeah.
Seven what?
$7.5 million.
$7.5 million.
Yeah.
Now we'll go over there.
Yeah.
We'll take a bit of a walk. We'll go over there. But I'm impressed by the space in between here. What's this going to be used for?
This is like a courtyard green
Courtyard
space
green
that's supposed
space.
to be developed in the school.
Okay, you're going to develop a green space.
Yeah.
The children that are coming to this school, they'll be fit with your new feeding program.
Well, we have for this school, what we have is a different model which will allow local caterers to actually use the space and cater to the students.
Okay, that's great.
So they'll go through a government tender process, and they'll bid to outfit the cafeteria.
That's awesome, but I mean, from right now, with what you're doing in the primary
Yes.
schools, I think the eating habits going to get a bit healthier.
Yes.
And the
That's the
walking that they have to do.
Well, let's go. Let's
Like
go.
we have music, and then I got science is back there, I know for sure.
Yes, science is back
And
there.
science is all the way back there. And then I see Mr. Morton over there by home economics.
Yes, home ec.
Home ec is over there.
Yes,
so
yes.
we gotta go to home ec. We're
Yes.
going to home ec
Let's
now.
go fast.
We went music, we're going fast to home ec. So we got our speed walk.
So, Minister, I do have a question. Is this campus expected to be just the campus A, for lack of a better phrase, or are you going to be incorporating campus B and pretty much the middle school into here?
So let me give you a brief financial breakdown of this project. This project was commissioned based on looking at 4 options for the school. The first option was after Hurricane Irma, was to redo Campus A, a couple blocks that had been destroyed. The second option was to look at a singular, like fit for purpose for Campus A only, and then just repurpose Campus B for middle school students. The third option was to have this campus located here. We'll have to cross this little boundary. The third option was just to have Campus A alone here, fully outfitted for Campus A. And the fourth option was to have Campus A and B here. The choice that was selected was to have both Campus A and B at this site.
Oh, okay.
However, they did not have the funding for that choice. In fact, they didn't have the funding to completely have Campus A at this site. And what I mean by that is...
Oh, we're right back at the beginning.
We're back at the beginning.
Okay.
What I mean by that is Campus A still is missing a critical component. And the critical component happens in vocational education subjects. So mechanics, automotive studies, etc., all of those subjects are missing from this campus, which means that although we will have no shift system, our students will still have to be bused or transported between this campus and the original campus in the valley, unfortunately.
So I'm thinking, so this will be Campus A
utilities room. This is pipes and stuff and all of that.
Bathrooms down here as well are
The
incomplete.
bathrooms, yeah, they're incomplete on this block.
This is all package 2.
That's package 2. We're now on package 3. They're connected, so.
Okay.
So you're saying then that this is only campus A
Only campus A.
minus
Minus technical vocational.
So campus A, as we know, third, fourth,
Third,
and
fourth,
fifth.
and fifth.
And we have a number of students who engage in those technical subjects for
Yes.
CXC purposes.
For CXC purpose.
All incomplete.
All incomplete.
Bathrooms, definitely.
Yeah. Sorry for rushing you guys a little bit.
I think, Ivan, we can do cognizance of the fact that the minister has another engagement, but we can do a little bit of a tour.
Yeah, after, yes, of course.
Yes.
So I'll just break this down for you. These are the home ec and culinary. This is the home ec and culinary block, and also classroom block, which is package 3.
Lockers?
I'm not sure actually. I'll find out. All of these are secured, so I'm sorry we can't go into the classrooms at this point in
But I know
time.
the labs are open.
But yeah. So this, and obviously you can see more clearly from here, the administrative block. So the school is set out like in this courtyard format where everything is oriented in the middle, which means it's a little simpler in terms of monitoring activity going on in the school, and in terms of ensuring that it's secure, because one of our issues has been security, students bringing in weapons, etc. When you have a campus that's really spread apart like campus A, the ability to monitor all areas of the campus becomes more challenging. So this setup kind of prevents, and obviously there'll also be security around the block, those problems from occurring in the future. So this block was commissioned in 2021. So this actually, what we have here.
Sorry, Minister, before you go, I just wanted to highlight something. I see that there's a
Wheelchair access.
So this is a bathroom, I'm assuming. Okay. Good. I just want to, highlight that there's intention. I see the ramps, there's
And the water
elevator.
fountains. The water
elevator
fountains are
shaft.
actually quite low, which is specific because there may be persons with disability access who need to be able to reach them. And also you can see here that there's a ramp. There's a ramp lower down.
Ah.
Yeah. Yes, so we have, and actually this is a really good point for me to leave you guys, because this is really out there and right here are really the newest parts of the building. So this building was actually commissioned in 2020, end of 2021, starting in 2022.
Okay.
They completed the work in, I don't know, like 4 or 5 months.
Oh.
And here we had, because we did not have a science block. Like the work that we had committed for in this school when we got into office was for this block, that block, and that block. We did not have a science block. So
Okay.
so from that original plan, we would not have been able to end the split shift system. And that is because we would not have had labs, and then scheduling labs in with our students' regular school activities would have been difficult.
Okay.
So that's why we can commission for another additional, I think this is an additional $3 million, this science block. So it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money, and it's a lot of money to have sitting down here and not being used by our students.
So I kind of just want to, I know we're rushing through. Some of the funding for this came from,
The Anguilla program, which was after Hurricane Irma.
and that money is covered.
Covered packages 1, 2, 3. And then we would have spoken to them about giving us additional funding in 2021 to complete package 4A, because package 4B was a technical block.
Okay.
So really and truly what happened is our technical subjects got squeezed, and really weren't considered in the first phase build out.
And where exactly, looking at the site, where exactly would the technical subjects
the technical subjects
be
are
housed?
actually out here. So the technical subjects were supposed to be in this area here, in addition to agricultural studies, having like a poultry farm, etc., in this particular location. We're still working on the funding for that, and if our revenues really do continue to perform, then we'll be able to take out that chunk and dedicate it to our technical vocational spot here on campus.
Okay, so I don't know where my co-host has disappeared to,
Yeah.
but I do know that he likes the term growing sustainably together. When we speak about our revenues growing,
Yes.
Again, we know that GST has been a major bolster to our revenues. Is there any, and Mr. Morton is not here, and I think this is a better question for him, but is there anything else that we can look forward to in terms of being able to get us to fund these additional aspects quicker?
Well, I mean, we're looking at what all the revenues government is bringing in, and I think sometimes I have to explain it to people like this. Like, people say, oh, government is taking our money, but government is taking the money for you to offer better services. So if government is taking the GST monies for this block to complete school for our students, if government is then taking monies for offering free health care to persons over 70s, these are things not necessarily about, it's not necessarily about what government is taking, it's about what you're getting. What is the value? What's the value for money that you're supposed to be getting from all of these things? And hopefully, not just the revenues on the goods and service tax side performing well, but other revenue streams. You have the levy, the universal social levy. If employment continues to increase, which we've seen, then you'll have more receipt. Sorry?
Sorry, just some
That's
technical
okay.
aspects. I know that you have to go in, and so once my co-host gets back, we can. I'm sure he can. He can
take you through the rest. But
through.
I would like to say this part, because when we look at this campus, it is an impressive accomplishment that we have to give credit to the contractors who have really been able to pull through. But we also have to acknowledge that it's not a completed work. Right? It's not a completed work. And then the question is, do we want to do what is necessary to make it a completed work? Or are we more comfortable with allowing a project of this size to sit there and our students to continue in the shift system? And I know the answer to that for most people would be no, because I believe that people understand the stakes. The stakes for education, having this sit down and continue to be incomplete. While it would not have been this administration's preference to move this school so far away from essential services, and to now have to figure out and add additional money, because to complete this project is actually a $69 to $70 million project. What we had was $32 million. So really and truly, even though we're saying we're going to build it out in a phased format, it still has implications for budgets, because even if their initial intention was to get that 32 million from the government of the United Kingdom, the previous administration had that anticipation, their anticipation for the other 30-something million would have been from the people of Anguilla. So that's a very clear thing to see from the site. Of course, we are now looking to see if we could get the supplementary approved and to continue and finish works so that we can be push and be ready for September. So we're just hoping that everything goes to plan and that we have the support of all parliamentarians in terms of getting our students back into the school, and that we can move forward with our systemic corrections of the system of education.
Before you go, Minister, is there something that the stakeholders, parents, students, a meeting that we can look forward to with you, the Department of Education, the Ministry of Education, as we sort of come up with a plan of how to move forward? Because while yes, we would like to have our students in here in September, a large portion of our students will have to be bused how does that affect? Have you given, and the ministry and department given any thought to what that's going to look like timetable wise in terms of making sure that we're not scheduling a science,
Yes.
a technical, and then back for
we have to do a lot of work in that area, because even when it comes to certain technical subjects, a lot of people can only choose one in a period. So so a specific period is slotted for many technical subjects. So it's a lot of those things are working out scheduling, also being able to work through the fact that we have teacher shortages, and how does that actually look, and how does that impact on our delivery of education service. So we are looking forward to have a national education forum during this year, and that will allow us to have some of these conversations, but also to look at the bigger picture as well. So
great. Yes, because you have the concern. We have a charter since 2017. We've had shorter period time slots. I know when I was in school, oh my gosh, however long ago. Yeah, it was
I'll let you take over from me. I'm so sorry I have to go, but I really gotta run off.
I know
Yes.
you do.
Yeah.
And you want to tell the folks where you're headed?
I'm heading to the Alvin Allison Richardson Primary School, where we're extending our school lunch program and having our official launch there.
awesome. I mean, if there's anybody who is present that understands how pleased I am to hear this,
It's me.
it is Ivan. Ivan and I served on, Ivan and I served on the PTA at the Alvin Allison Richardson Primary School together, and it was one of the things that we lamented and had asked for over, I mean, if our kids are in third form now, and we were doing that since kindergarten, I don't do the math. But it has been a long time, so I'm happy that
I'm
that is
excited
happening.
about that
And
as
so,
well.
in that case, I'm happy to excuse the minister as she run off to...
Yes, she runs off because they have that ceremony there. We're actually going to head down there after. But I want us to go upstairs. And before we go upstairs...
Are we going to continue along
Yeah,
the
we're going to
science?
continue on this, but we're going to go upstairs.
Okay.
But again, I can't help but look at the vast structure of the school. I heard you ask the minister about, the fact that, we have Campus A only coming over here, but you have teachers that teach Campus A and Campus B.
Yes.
And they have to come. I learned recently, in my 40 years here on Earth, I did not know that there was a road back here. There's a road here that connects right across by the hospital side. So I know one of the things that the ministerial assistant, the Ministry of Finance, Mr. Courtney Morton, has been harping on is getting that road paved, because it speeds up the transfers in between where we're going. As the minister was saying, this is one of the blocks that wasn't commissioned in the original set of packages. I think this is one of the most complete ones, and we'll see. This is the science block. I actually am very proud of this.
Before we go on to the science block, I know the minister spoke about having the technical and the agricultural sciences being crossed there, and I don't know exactly who's growing some tomatoes, but
I was hoping you didn't tell them that the tomatoes there.
it is obvious that we already using
the soil
this.
a little arable. Yeah. We already using it for what it's supposed to be used for.
I'd definitely love to have the Minister of Sustainability and Environment come in, and as you look towards building a agriculture department for the school, in terms of how do we utilize some of the new technologies that are being employed here. You know that
the farm farms,
and we look
the
forward
aquaponics and all that stuff.
So I look forward to not just having updated and modern buildings, but that the technology that is being used throughout this campus is also modern and modernized as well.
Excellent. Let's go upstairs. This is one of the... So I said when I came here one time, I said if the children choose not to learn here, then they willful. And I said that on the backdrop of we didn't have this. Our classrooms didn't have AC. I remember our science lab, the stools were broken. Miss Pabs Garnon tried her best. Dr. Lanny Hobson, who taught me physics, tried his best. But we are putting our kids in an improved environment. I won't go in the female restroom, even though that's the one that's open, but you can pop in, Gleneva.
Okay.
You can pop in and let them see what it is. There's a handicap and there's a male restroom. This seems to be like a...
These buildings are mostly finished.
Yes.
Thanks. I see we have, so already outfitted with toilets. So 3 stalls. There's some mirrors. Hopefully the students don't spend too much time
In the mirror.
in the mirror.
Okay.
I see that we're still expecting some sink areas here. And then you said so this would be the male's bathroom and
I think the male's on the other side. That's handicap.
handicap accessible. Again, I am greatly appreciative of the fact that thought was given to include handicap and disabled spaces so that all of our students can have access,
Yep.
and not just access, but dignity.
Yes.
I think that's so important that we're able to provide that.
Yes. This impressive. A lot further than Campus A labs.
This is amazing. And I know we're going to get the echo in here as it's still a little bit
Empty.
void of people. But this is fit for purpose.
Fit for purpose.
I expect to see more of our students.
In the STEM.
Yes.
Science, technology, engineering, and math.
Being able to excel in those areas.
Definitely. And what I like is that the classrooms have this little connecting. The labs have this little connecting area.
Ivan, I'm also seeing there's some nice high ceilings.
Yes.
Outfitted with some fans, about 3 fans, windows to the east.
Detectors.
Those are fire detectors?
I believe so.
Okay. You know, maybe one day we'll get the Ivan, a walkthrough.
Here.
When we get in here, a walkthrough of some of the safety features as well of the school.
Yes.
Seeing I'd like to say a contraption. you could tell who did not do sciences.
Yes, this is if there's a spill that they can wash their eyes, wash themselves, anything. I know this is modern. We definitely did not have this at the middle block there, the science lab at A.L.H.C.S. campus. Let's walk through.
Okay.
Obviously like a prep area maybe for the teachers.
So storage area for some of the chemicals.
Chemicals.
Possibly.
Another lab. Same setup, same concepts.
I know the minister did speak about the classrooms being outfitted with some of those, help me out on the technical name for those boards.
I can't call the word.
Okay, good.
Those digital boards, the the RAN boards, the PT boards, because I know there hasn't that. I can't remember the name right now. But yeah, the classrooms will be outfitted with those. I'm excited that we're going to incorporate a bit more technology in the learning, because truth be told, that's the one thing that COVID did. It sped up the way in which our children interact with technology. It's actually...
You mean in education? Because,
in education.
Because they already interact with technology outside of the education setting.
Definitely.
And so to have that transfer into a learning setting where
Yes.
they can use it responsibly.
Yes.
And utilize some of the, I like to call it the innate abilities, because we laugh and say these children are born with chips.
Yeah, they are.
They already know slide, tap, so it's the innate abilities that are already present,
Yes.
and that you can transfer that into a setting where they can grow their skills, they
Yeah.
can utilize their skills.
Yeah. I'm excited about what learning will look like. Is more science labs down here. I want us to take a walk on the third floor of the, I don't know if this is package 1 or 3, but the third floor of this side. You've closed up the doors, ma'am. Thank you very much.
So Ivan, the road that you spoke about,
it comes through there.
it comes through here.
And it connects over by the hospital. So you know when you come out of the hospital gap, there's a road opposite.
Okay.
So it's a dirt road, but there is conversation about having that road.
I
pitched.
know in conversation with the Minister of Infrastructure recently, there's ongoing discussions about roads that are on private land versus roads that are on government land.
That's part and parcel of the challenge that we have in Anguilla generally with roads, because truth be told, I think that's a no-brainer to do in terms of the access, because we have to be here. Say what we want to say, we have to be here. This is the next step. So I say, in my limited knowledge and experience, I say let's just get it done.
And this is a two-story, two-floor building.
Yes, just like how it is on that side. But you're actually, because of the slope of the land, you're actually connecting to the 3rd floor here. That's why I wanted us to go this way.
Okay, so that's why I can see you come up a bit of a ramp here.
Right.
But in parts of this building to my left, I can see that there's some rooms underneath.
Right.
So this building has 3 floors. This building
has 2.
So the one that we're currently on has 2 floors, and the building to our left that we are going
has 3 as well.
Has 3.
Yes.
Okay.
And
again, the ramps, which makes it very accessible.
Yeah. I don't know if that's gonna help, but I wanted you have to kind of like peek inside. I'm not sure how clear it'll be.
So these are okay. So we're back in the building that houses our culinary arts.
Right. And you can see they got quite a bit of stuff in there.
This is definitely looking like a commercialized kitchen.
Yep. commercial grade equipment for sure. I've seen. Again, it's.
And these are all secured.
All secured. It's something that I think our children deserve. I agree that a lot more planning should have gone into it, because we could have had something like this at the old site for less cost. Not leaving the services that we need behind, the health services, the access to the library.
I know the minister had to leave us, and maybe you can fill in some gaps for me.
Okay, I'll try.
I know years gone by, again, I'm not trying to expose how long I've left high school, but in years gone by...
Please don't do that, because you know what you'll do to me.
In years gone by, there was actually a library on the school compound, in addition to the Anguilla Public Library, which is the Edison Hughes Public Library. Is there room on this current compound for an in-house library, given that we don't have that access to the Edison Hughes Library across the road?
I'm not sure that one was considered, but there's space to do it. Maybe you can have it spread across the different classrooms. So rooms that you know are set aside for English and what's not. Like we have those spaces in the lab, you can have multiple little libraries per se that we can look at, kind of like outfitting. Because there's not a designated space for it on campus.
Well, perhaps we can look at transforming a classroom.
Especially since we have only Campus A coming here.
Right.
So in your opinion, is this too big for Campus A?
I don't think that I can give a qualified position on whether or not this is too big for Campus A.
Because what is too big?
I will say this. We are definitely looking at a very expensive campus. It
Right.
is. I will tell you, it's by no means a small campus. It is clearly a campus that is bigger than what currently exists either at Campus B or at Campus A, or what existed prior to to Hurricane Irma.
Right.
But I'm seeing a lot of specialized classrooms.
Yes.
Maybe that is something that was not maybe. We know that is something that was missing, that was needed. And so it may very well be that this is actually the size that was required.
Maybe.
And we were doing, you know,
More would it be a minimum?
You know how we operate here in Anguilla.
Yeah, if
we,
it's working,
we make do.
oh gosh.
We make do, right? But that doesn't mean because we make do that it is ideal for the purpose that it's meant to serve.
Right. That is absolutely true. I mean, I definitely agree with you there. I think we are making the best of for the lack of a better term, a bad situation, because the children being on split shift for as long as they have been is a bad situation. We're trying to rectify that now. We're trying to correct those things now.
I'm going to be in major trouble because I did not ask the minister, because I know we're looking at moving away from the split shift, and that is the impetus of wanting and pushing to get in here by September. But I didn't ask about the start of school. I'll save that for when we have her back in studio.
Yes.
I want to point out, Ivan, I've been seeing them, and I still see some in the roof just as we saw in the science block. But I'm noticing a lot of fire alarm systems.
Yes.
I can see right behind, in front of us here, there's like
Fire alarm to pull.
Right. Does this mean that our students, again, we spoke about teenagers and the fact that we know that teenagers, their brains aren't fully developed.
Right.
And because of that, they tend to do some impulsive things.
Well, I'm hoping that they put the caps over them. I'm hoping
But
that.
we don't want to put caps in them when you actually need it, you can't access it.
But I mean, like every other place. Well, I don't know if the caps are. I know the caps are over there, one to break in case of fire. But I hope that we do what everybody else around the world has done and have the legislation to support some sort of action, disciplinary action taken if you pull a fire alarm.
Okay.
That's what I'm hoping would happen.
So again, these might be some technical questions. But these fire alarms go down and trigger what response?
Same way they do at any place else. It goes to the command center and the emergency services response.
So it triggers a response at the Anguilla Fire Services.
Yes.
I know they have a very loud alarm across there. This is not something that we have seen previously in any of our schools. Again, I am very impressed with the safety mechanisms that are in place. But a safety mechanism in place is only as good as
the education behind know-how.
The known response.
Right.
You hear a fire alarm go down and no one is going to be jumping over the site.
Right.
So I am anticipating, then again, these are questions that we'll...
I know they like they similarly do the tsunami drills now in the primary schools.
Right.
I'm most definitely sure that they will take the route of doing the fire drills and the like and those type of things there. But I mean, just looking at the environment, like I said, we're here, we have to make it work. Upwards of $8 million, not of $8 million, I think it's somewhere closer to 10 to get it to a point where it can house Campus A students, hopefully by September, if everything goes well. A lot of work to be done, obviously. Persons have been asking. They can see when we turn this way to head back downstairs to the front of the building, you'll see package 2, which the minister spoke about. This entire block here is the one that is not getting, is not in a position where you can say, hey, we're a little closer than we needs be. So
From this vantage point, I think if we can, again, just give persons an appreciation of where we are. along this very long block here, Gaff. This is our culinary and home ec,
Yes.
those subjects along this very long block. In the back there, we have the sciences,
specialty,
specialty, and I think we looked at the IT labs over on.
yes, IT is over there. I think there are some regular classrooms on the ground
On the ground
floors of
floors.
both of these buildings.
And on the ground floor of the science
Labs.
block are also labs.
Labs, yeah.
Great. So this block is going to be regular classrooms, some specialty. No, that's the block on the other side
No,
of this
we're on
building?
that block. This is the building, yeah.
Ah,
because that's the
okay.
administrative building. So when we go over
Okay.
here now, you'll see we exit to the. Actually, I want us to see the I guess probably would be like the principal's office or that.
We're going to need site maps.
You know, actually, someone asked me about a site map just now when I sent the link that we are going live. They was
We're going to
asking
need virtual site maps.
if they're
You
going
are
to be able to
here,
see the plans. You are here.
and you would like to go
There.
there. So it's kind of connected.
Oh my goodness.
It's connected to our timetables.
Time out. You know what I just realized? You've done PTA meeting, right?
I have.
How will we do that? You know they move you around the
But
classroom.
I have a completely different take on that. This is not the time or place to discuss that, but I look forward to being able to discuss PTA meetings that operate in a more efficient manner that encourages continued parental involvement.
Definitely.
And I'll leave that at that for now.
This is the elevator shaft.
Okay. So, my question on the elevator shaft. Because we can have elevator shafts, but are we going to have elevators?
Yes.
Great. Now,
This is growing sustainably together. No child left behind.
MSDE.
MSDE. We're laughing because we recently renamed the minister's.
No,
license
not
plate.
we, Ivan. Let's get it right.
I did.
Okay.
So MSDE, should I tell our listening audience what it means? Should I tell the listening audience what MSDE means?
I will tell them what you said.
Tell them what I said.
Ivan said MSDE stands for making sure them educated.
There we go, making sure them educated.
But Ivan is using broken English
That's
to
right.
say so.
Creole.
Oh, this is...
Oh, it's locked. You locked me out. I went in the last time. But I love the little office space here. We started from outside.
Okay, so this is the office spaces, possibly the teachers' lounges.
Yeah, and I think in here
Staff
has
rooms.
staff room and maybe like some other prep areas for the teachers. I know it has some restrooms in this building and what's not. So this is the area for the teaching staff. Of course, they'll put up the
railings.
The railings along here.
Because I am thinking
You are thinking
not
what you're
very
scared.
safe.
But
So-
again, lots of work to be done.
Okay, now I'm getting a
yeah.
better understanding of the layout.
Yeah.
We entered,
This way. That's the entrance. We come this way. Yeah?
right, so we entered pretty much downstairs
Yep.
of, if that was the turn around, this is that first block, and we entered downstairs of that block. And you come upstairs and this is the admin, this is the connecting that the minister showed us.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
This is where it is. And then you can see, of course, the 3 floors. This building is somewhat center of it. Lots of work to be done. All part of package 2, I believe, and made to understand. But you can see there's some folks
and
here.
work is currently going on.
Work
Good
is currently
morning.
going on. It's a bit dark in here when you get near Gaff. You might have to adjust your lighting. But we can give folks a little insight as to.
Okay, so I see there's some restrooms along here, maybe some
Offices.
electrical stuff. I know that we don't have, we didn't allocate space for medical services.
Right. But you
But
could have a
perhaps
school nurse, perhaps.
You could perhaps have a room for the school nurse.
Right.
a sick bay of sorts.
Sick bay, right. And I mean that even looking back at the considerations the premier made about the port in terms of little isolation areas for somebody that's sick, that type of thing, because we know how that goes now. If COVID taught us something, isolation when sick is important, you know. Work is still actively going on. A lot of work, you see. Work is actively going on.
A nice big open space.
Yeah, I mean, they won't probably come out here but to service the ACs and what's not.
Really, because I think this is a great spot to look out and to, you know, be able to monitor.
Right.
And
I
see
know
what's going
there's cameras as well, so there's going to be security not just for our students but for the property in general. And it's actually, this gives you this view when Gaff comes out. Gaff, when you come out, you can pan left and then come around to the right side so folks can see the extent to which we are talking about, that this massive campus actually is going to house our students. Okay. We're going to wrap it up pretty soon. We're going to leave you guys with a few views. So let me see if we have any questions. No, somebody said thanks for the tour. Wanda said thanks for the tour. Moya Johnson says wonderful. The folks that are still with us, yeah, it's quite a bit to do. Government is committed to doing it. I think this was a long time coming.
Yep.
Folks needed to see what we were working with, what had to be done. Let me just check WhatsApp quick. I saw a message on WhatsApp.
This is definitely impressive space.
It is. It is.
Ivan, I'm looking straight ahead and I'm seeing some solar panels on the roof of the culinary arts block.
Yeah, I think those are for hot water.
Great.
Yeah, I think those are for hot water. But I mean, if the minister had her way, because that's one thing that we haven't talked about, you know, it's not just completing the school, it's maintenance of the school, it's cleaning of the school. It's a bill that we're going to have to carry for a long time. So I know government is actively talking and looking at and seeing what we can do to try and at least reduce some of those costs, how we can better manage those costs that will come with a campus of this size. In all honesty, it's going to take a lot, and a lot that the people of Anguilla are going to be paying for.
Yeah, I think that's also important because we have this lovely building that hopefully can be occupied soon enough. But again, maintenance and what it's going to take to maintain, because one of the things that we don't want is to move into the building and then don't keep up with the upkeep, keep up with the maintenance, and then in 10 years you're having students that go, oh, but the building ain't as nice as it was before.
Yeah, we can physically see that. And I mean, I'll make a call now on the students that are going to be occupying this space. A lot has gone into it for you. It's to create an environment that's conducive for learning, that appreciates you. Make sure you take care of it. I don't want to see us struggling with the graffiti and the destroying of our windows and our very excellent. I didn't see any Bunsen burners. That's the only thing I remember from science, a Bunsen burner. But
I see the space that they can go.
Put. Okay, all the technology, all the assets that have been put in place for you. Let's take care of it when we do get here. We give the folks an update at another point closer when the supplementary is passed and the completion of these packages, and then the minister can come on and hopefully we can see the court area start to develop and the like, and just
I'm hoping for some nice big trees, you know, those big mature trees that were on the campus, A campus.
Yes.
I mean, I have memories of those trees
Every
long before I
have
even
those as
entered,
well.
before I even entered high school. And
Yeah.
I entered high school at a time where there was no campus B.
Yes,
so
me too.
I spent my full
Okay,
5 years. I know.
Don't do that.
I missed it by a year. But I can envision this space being, again, this is why I look forward to the Ministry of Sustainability and Environment, and I know we've spoken about this in the past, Ivan, about how all of the ministries are interconnected.
Yes.
And hopefully bringing them in as we develop this next phase
Right.
of this campus,
Okay.
ensuring that we have nice mature trees that won't dig up the foundations.
Yes, they're
that
gonna crack it
we've
up.
put down here, but then also ensuring that we have a lovely green space right here on campus.
Definitely. If you mention green space, I'm surprised that my phone isn't tingling because the Honorable Minister Quincy Montgomery, once she hears the word green, she automatically ties it to space, and then she starts ringing and starts planning and starts making
Yeah,
things
so
happen.
definitely looking forward to that, because I think school has to be an environment that encourages learning,
Yes.
but not just encourages learning, but in terms of the academic side of learning.
Yes.
But the entire overall being of our children.
Right, right.
Learning how to take care
Right.
of the spaces that they
Right.
have.
A little bit of pride.
Yes.
As basic as
Yes.
that is. As basic
Yes.
as that is. Anything else for our audience?
Ivan, I think this has been, again, a really comprehensive tour
Yes.
of this campus. I look forward to being able to drop my daughter off at the front gates
Hopefully.
come
September.
September. I know she looks forward to entering this campus. And so, and there are lots of other parents and students alike who have sacrificed so much.
So much, so much.
So much since 2017.
Yes.
The passage of Hurricane Irma, being on that shift system. And so our students deserve this.
They do.
Our teachers.
Our teachers deserve this. Our parents deserve this.
Yes.
Anguilla deserves this.
And so
And
I
don't
want
deserve
to-
it halfway at that.
I want to commend the government of Anguilla for committing to ensuring that this is seen through to its completion, even though the minister mentioned that it was not the vision of
Yes.
this administration.
Yes.
However, putting our children first,
Yes.
it
That's
is about
paramount.
seeing this through
and making it work.
And in addition to the government of Anguilla, the people of Anguilla
Who will
will
be
continue
paying the
to
bill.
burden and pay for this. And so that is where I'd like to wrap up today.
All right.
And we look forward to seeing you on our regular episodes of Progress Report.
So when are we going to do another live? What's next for the live of Progress Report? These we take too long sometimes to give the people the live. You know, they're the live.
I know.
So what else you want to do?
I know what is my next live.
What is your next live?
Because we spoke so much about green spaces.
Okay,
today.
we high five.
Oh,
We got
there's
it.
no Carvel to tell us no
hand clapping in Carvel Studio. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another excellent episode of Progress Report Live. We hope that you enjoyed it. Share the link with anybody who may have missed this because they're at work or they're occupied otherwise. I know there's a lot of interest as into what's going on here at campus Albina Lake Comprehensive School. I don't know if this is campus A, campus B, or campus C. I don't know. The new campus of the Albina Lake Comprehensive School.
I think what we have here, and right in the very beginning, I know the minister made reference to the high school in the BVI, the Elmo Stout High School. And I know what they have done was to name individual buildings within that campus.
Okay.
After some very prominent educators. I'm not sure who's listening, and you know that this is spread wide and far, but one of those buildings is named after one of my caretakers, the Dorothy Turnbull buildings. And so I look forward to possibly us doing something similar here, where we can recognize and acknowledge those stalwarts in our secondary education.
Definitely.
And being able to name
That's a great idea.
able to name some of the buildings after
Exclusive. High five again.
There we go.
Another exclusive. We'll put some pressure on the minister, squeeze her hard to make sure she names some of these blocks after our prominent past educators who have made contribution and who would have loved to see where we're going in education.
Yes.
I know there's a lot of work to be done. There's a lot of work to be done by us. We're going to head off to the school feeding program ceremony. It should have started about 15 minutes ago. We're going to head there now. But this, again, has been another excellent episode of Progress Report, live edition. 2 under our belt now, more to come. See you next time.